Hey guys, we filmed the mailbag on Monday, and that's going to come up here in a couple of minutes. But we do have a notable injury update ahead of Bears versus 49ers. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports that 49ers tight end George Kittle is dealing with a mid to low ankle sprain, per source. Kittle said after the game he believed to avoid a high ankle, and that is the case. And we, of course, talked about that earlier in the week. Look, we'll monitor this, right? Today, injury reports come out for both teams, first one of the week, so we'll see what that looks like. We'll have that covered when we go live this afternoon, which that is the plan, 2 o'clock Central Time, so be sure to join us. But he's been great in the games he's played this year. He's only played in 10 games, and he's been awesome. In the last 6 weeks in particular, he's been fantastic. So continue to monitor this situation. Certainly today, we'll get an early look. Wouldn't be shocked if he was a DNP. They played Monday night. They might even just have a walkthrough today in San Francisco. Quick turnaround. They didn't land in the Bay Area until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning after that cross-country flight. But obviously, Kittle's status is huge for this game. He's their probably top playmaker overall, especially in the receiving game. And if he's out or severely limited, that obviously would play a big role. But with it not being a high ankle sprain, certainly a decent chance that he could play. So stick with us here. We got you covered throughout the week. And coming up next, we got a Bears mailbag here on the channel where I answer all of your questions. That's coming up here. I'm Harrison Graham. It's time for a Bears Now mailbag from Jahdae season. Should Jahdae Walker start over Olamide Zaccheaus if Rome and Luther are still out? Yeah, we were getting this question a lot on the live show. It's a tough question to answer. I mean, I would answer it like this. I would like to see more of Jahdae Walker, assuming Rome and Luther are out. Even if it's just Rome out, can you work in a few plays for Jahdae Walker? Like he's your fourth guy, but you have a little package of plays for him. Listen, he to me, on the couple plays he had, looked like the guy I saw in the preseason, right? Guy who pops off the page, got good athletic traits. I mean, Caleb threw a beautiful ball, but he still had to track that down on a windy night, jump up, and get 2 feet in. I mean, that was a hell of an athletic play. On 3 targets, 2 catches, 21 yards, and a touchdown, limited snaps. He's an exciting young player. We're not worried about long-term right now, but I think he's a piece for the next couple of years. I mean, as a UDFA, he costs you nothing, and he's clearly worth being in that wide receiver room. So whether it's starting over OZ or just playing more snaps, because the one thing about Zaccheaus, and he's had some untimely drops, it's been unfortunate, he can play all the receiver positions. The Bears trust him in that regard. I don't know if you're putting Jahdae Walker in the slot, right? So, I would up his snaps if Rome and Luther are out this week against the 49ers. Whether that means he's out snapping Olamide Zaccheaus, that's a different story. But, yeah, I think he's deserved more opportunities. I mean, he stepped up to the plate in your biggest game in years. I mean, that was impressive, and I don't think it was a one-night wonder. I think he's a guy who can make some plays for you. Do you want to see more of Jahdae Walker? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I certainly do, and I think Bears fans do as well. So I'm definitely typing my Y for yes. All right, hashtag Bears or Super Chat. We got Dablit fam. What is going to happen to CJ Gardner-Johnson at the end of the year? Do you think the Bears would extend him? I don't know. The secondary's got a lot of question marks this offseason. Jaquan Brisker's a free agent. Kevin Byard's a free agent. CJ Gardner-Johnson's a free agent. Nashawn Wright's a free agent. Tyreek Stevenson's entering the final year of his deal. Like, they have a lot to figure out. Your 2 backup safeties, Elijah Hicks and Jonathan Owens, are free agents. So you got some decisions to make. You got to respect what CJ Gardner-Johnson's been able to do. He's gotten beaten coverage a few times, but he's a Swiss Army knife that could do some different things. He's a guy I'd like to bring back. So we'll see what they're able to do. But, yeah, we'll worry about that in the offseason. But he's been awesome. He's got versatility. And, we're filming this live on Monday. Hopefully this injury isn't too serious, and he can help down the stretch too. B-Shep 23, is Rome the clear number 1, or was DJ just not getting the ball as much as they wanted? Yeah, I mean, I still think a fully healthy Rome is a more complete wide receiver than DJ Moore, but I don't know if it really matters. Like they can both contribute. Clearly, they can both be really good players. long term, Rome's a young guy ascending. DJ Moore will be 29 next year. Not old, but like he's probably not a guy who's going to dominate at 35. So I'm not worried about the labels as much. I just hope Rome can get back into the mix here. The good news is DJ has stepped up big time the last couple of weeks while Rome's been sidelined, and he's shown that he can have a big-time role on this 2025 team. The future will play out the way it needs to, but yeah, I'm just happy for DJ Moore, and I'm glad that him and Caleb have connected on some big plays. Big Dumper, would you rather sign Hendrickson for a 25 a year and keep draft capital, or trade for Crosby and give up 2 firsts? It's a good question. My thing with Hendrickson, injured this year, he's never been great against the run, so would you do like a 2 for 50 with 30 guaranteed? I'd probably do that. I do think Crosby's a much more complete player. I think he's a guy who could be better for longer. But you could make the argument that an in-between move like that, where Hendrickson could still come in, be a really good pass rusher, you could still probably make it work salary cap-wise with Montez Sweat. Like, I would understand that argument. And if he wants to come here, now if it's like $33 million a year, I'd probably pass. But if it's in the 20s on a 1 or 2 year deal, I'd be interested. I would. I definitely think that'll be a player that we talk about quite a bit leading up to free agency. We got Cardiac Bears shirts available, ladies and gentlemen. Chatsports.com/Cardiac Bears. They did it again against the Green Bay Packers. Pick up your Cardiac Bears gear today. And if you want the FGB gear, chatsports.com/FGB. You could check that out as well. But, go get your merch. Awesome T-shirts. Go check it out. Okay, Bear down for life. If Eagles and Packers both lose Sunday and Bears will at least be number 2 seed, if that's the case, do you go ahead and just sit Rome until playoffs? Merry Christmas. Yeah, that is interesting. If they were to both lose before – well, the Packers play Saturday, by the way. So if they lose Saturday, then the Bears clinch the division. If the Eagles lose before the Bears play that night, then they would clinch the 2 seed. Now, to me, you're still playing to win. Now, I think you would make that. I don't think you'd make a last-second Rome decision on that. I think he's either playing this week or he isn't. I don't think you're like doing your prep with him with like these scenarios in mind because they're so close to the game. Like you don't want to like change up your game plan that late. But my guess is he doesn't play this week. Don't play him this week. See how he's feeling heading into the Detroit game and make a decision from there. But, I would guess he is out this week. And Jahdae Walker showing what he did should give the Bears some confidence. Like, hey, he's not Rome Odunze, but, like, he's a guy we could trust a little bit. Let's give him some opportunities and let Rome try to heal up a little more. All right, we got Chris Lopez. % chance the Bears will host the wild card. Very high. I mean, you only need one more win or one more Packers loss to host. I mean, I can give you the exact percentages right now. This is the NFL Playoff Picture simulator from the Athletic. To win the division, which means a home playoff game, 89%. So you have to lose your final 2 games, and the Packers have to win their final 2. Certainly possible. Both your final 2 are tough. But Packers, Ravens are desperate. Both QBs for Green Bay are banged up. I think the Bears. To be honest, I'd be surprised if they didn't win the North at this point. Like they would really have to struggle in these last 2 games to not win at least one of them, in my opinion. And Detroit may have nothing to play for in Week 18. Sure, they could spoil the Bears' divisional chances, I guess, if they haven't clinched by then. But we'll see what their situation is. All right, predict the score. If they beat the 49ers, they win the division, and they lock in the 2 seed and still have a chance at the 1. Bears, Niners, who wins next week on Sunday Night Football? Get those score predictions in. Shout out to our guy Edov with the 20. He says the defense is currently leading the league in takeaways, but we're also ranked in the bottom third for yards allowed. Are we playing with fire by relying so heavily on turnovers, or can bend don't break work in the playoffs? It worked just enough the other night. The Packers were 0 for 5 in the red zone on touchdowns. That seems unlikely to work consistently, but look, this defense is what it is, right? The pass rush isn't great, so they give up yards. one thing they have to be better at is run defense. I did not think they did well against the Packers, especially once Malik Willis came in. I get that's a tough on-the-fly adjustment. You're not prepping for Malik Willis during the game. That opens up a whole nother dimension of that playbook. But you got to be better against the run. You got Christian McCaffrey this week, so we'll see how they handle him. If you can at least slow down the run, then that gives you a chance, right? Because we know the secondary flies around, can make plays. So if you force teams into obvious passing downs, that gives you a shot. But you're not going to – this team's going to give up yards between the 20s. They got to be good in the red zone, and they got to continue to win the turnover battle. All right, Kodos with the 10. Is a first-round bye still possible? Yes. If they win out and the Seahawks lose one of their final two, the Bears get the number 1 seed. It's that simple. That's what has to happen. They win their final two. Seahawks lose to either Carolina or San Francisco, and the Bears get the 1 seed. Kind of crazy. I mean, it's a realistic scenario, too. I get the Bears' final 2 games are not the easiest, but, they can beat the 49ers. They can beat the Lions. The Seahawks could lose the Panthers. They could lose the 49ers. So they went out. Seahawks lose 1 of 2. Bears the 1 seed. There you go. Appreciate all of the questions. If you have more, you know where to find me. Social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok now. I'm chasing 1,000 followers on TikTok. We're at like 700 something. Help me get there. At HGramNFL. We launched about a week ago. If you want to support, I would greatly appreciate it. Give me a follow on those platforms and bear down.